Okay, so welcome back to the continuation of the presentation. And let's be mindful of time. It's about 30 minutes duration for trial version of Zoom. So we've talked about the assumption of long-run production process. Now let's look at another concept. And this concept is called uh, uh, isoquants. This concept is called isoquants. 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 Isoquant. I'm trying to admit. I don't know why he's asking me to admit, but I'm admitting all those who are there. Move this thing. It's disturbing me. So isoquants are curves showing different combinations of labor and capital produced which produces the same level of output. And they are also called equal product curves. Equal product curves. Isoquants are curves that are showing different combinations of labor and capital that produces the same level of output, and they are also called equal curves, equal product curves. Now, characteristics of isoquants. Isoquants are negatively slopes and they are converse to the origin. Isoquants do not intersect. In other words, isoquants are production costs or curves, and then higher isoquants represent higher output level. Now, another concept that we must talk about is called the marginal rate of technical substitution. Marginal rate of technical substitution. MRTS measures the rate at which one input can replace one another while maintaining the same output. And the formula of MRTS is change in capital over change in labor. Marginal, what we mean is that, let me type something here. If I type MRTS LK, let me put that in subscript. Yeah. MRTL LK is equal to marginal products, or let's just say MPL subscript divided by MPK. Coming, I'm trying to make sure that that thing does not coming. So MPL divided by MPK. You can pick the recording and send to them if it's ready. Use my WhatsApp. Send it to the Telegram. Okay. So MPL divided by MPK. Yeah, sorry that I'm typing alongside. So what I'm trying to say is that MRTS, marginal rate of technical substitution, labor for capital, is equal to MPL divided by MPK, marginal product of labor divided by marginal product of capital. So, and that is what we just did here. So you can see MPK is marginal product of capital, MPL marginal product of labor, and the relationship is that MRTS is equal to MPL over MPK. Okay? So we also have another concept called return to scale. Return to scale explains how output respond when all input changes proportionately. Return to scale responds or explains how output responds when all input changes proportionately. So we have three types. We have what we call the increasing return to scale, we have the constant return to scale, and we have the marginal decreasing return to scale. So when we talk about increasing return to scale, we are looking at when your output is greater than your input. When outputs is greater than inputs. Okay, that's increasing return to scale. But when Control C, Control V, but when inputs is greater than outputs, that means what you put into production is more than what you receive. The effort you put into is more than what you get from it. You call that one decreasing return to scale. You can see I'm trying to edit it, Control V. Then when Control V, when outputs or inputs, as the case may be, is equal to outputs, you call that one constant return to scale. So you can take note of these three. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. We also have the tabular display of return to scale. So if you look at input, an input increases from 10% to 20%, and output increase as well, then you can determine the kind of return to scale. So if your input is 10% and then your output is 20%, you call that one increasing return to scale. But if they are both 10%, you call that constant return to scale. But if your input is greater than your output, then you call it decreasing return to scale. That's what I just said earlier. Then you can look at the diagram of it. The diagram of it is in the textbook, and you can read more from there. You have
Sir. Sorry, sir.
sorry?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Actually, some of our classmates can actually join the class. Some of our classmates can join the class.
Okay, because they have not been admitted. Damokwe,
Yes, sir.
just give me a minute. Damokwe, oh, yeah, come in. Yeah, come and do that setting. Please admit all of them. You will setting willing. Be fast. They are saying that they have been in the waiting room. Before you send link, you do all the settings now. Do it now. Remove it from that.
Remove it. The meeting has started already.
You better stay and be doing the admitting. So for now, I think they've been admitted. It's my son that did the link, so I think he forgot to remove the to set the setting in such a way that you can admit upon entry. So for now, I will try and be checking the waiting room. 2 people are waiting again. Don't get time for all this thing. All right, I think they have been admitted, Peter and Nimota. Okay, let's move on. So let's move on and look at another concept called isocost. Isocost line shows the different combinations of labor and capital that have the same total cost. Isocost line shows the different combination of labor and capital that carries the same total cost. And the formula is TC is equal to RW plus RK. This we will explain in the physical class with some small calculations along the line. Equilibrium, and then with the textbook that you people are waiting till the kingdom come to get. If you have it with you, you are free. You would have been reading alongside and getting some good knowledge. I was in the office throughout today. I was there yesterday as well. So it's left for your governor and for your mates to do what you think you need to do. My own is to teach, and I've done that. So equilibrium long run analysis. Now, producer's equilibrium occur when isoquant is tangent to isocost line. What does that mean? That means when the isoquant and the isocost. Isoquant is the production curve. Isoquant is the income, the revenue generated from the production cost. Now, when they equate together, you call it producer's equilibrium. And then it is also where MRTS is equal to, that's marginal rate of technical substitution, is equal to input price ratio. And is on the basis of the condition that MRTS is equal to W over R, where your W is your wage and the R is your returns on investment. Okay, so let's move on. So we also have indifference curve and isoquant. Now, isoquant belongs to the theory of production. Indifference curve belongs to consumer utility. You can see it there. They said indifference curve is used in consumer theory and it shows equal satisfaction, while isoquant is used in producer's theory and it shows equal output. So indifference curve measures satisfaction, isoquant measures outputs. Okay, now let's move on. We have about 5 more slides so that we can tidy up before before the Zoom locks us out. Then there is a comparison between marginal utility and marginal product. Don't forget that we have dealt with marginal product in this session when we started. Marginal product is the additional product as a result of additional input, while the marginal utility is additional satisfaction as a result of additional intake. So the difference is that additional satisfaction from consuming 1 more unit is different from additional output from using 1 more unit of a product. For instance, if you are having a plot of land, if you employ an extra hand to work on the plot of land, that is a marginal cost in terms of employment. If whatever that additional hand produces, that will be the marginal product. Then if that additional hand production is satisfactory enough to the firm or the organization that employs him, that will now be the marginal utility. Then law of diminishing marginal utility versus law of diminishing return. Now, we have talked about law of diminishing returns, and we said it applies to production. Output contribution declines with extra input. But for diminishing marginal utility, it applies to consumption. Satisfaction declines with additional consumption. What do we mean? Now, you take a bottle of Coke, take another one, take another one. Now, if the satisfaction you are deriving from it is reducing, you call it diminishing marginal utility. But if it has to do with production, you have a plot of land, you keep on using it, and the total output you get is reduced, then that is called diminishing returns. So take note of that. Then we have marginal rate of commodity substitution versus marginal rate of technical substitution. The marginal rate of commodity substitution is used in consumer analysis, and it measures substitution between goods, maybe good X and Y. You can say Coke and Fanta. While the marginal rate of technical substitution is used in production analysis, and it measures substitution between inputs, e.g. capital and labor. Oh, we have about 6 people waiting in the waiting room. Let me try and admit them. Okay, so that's that. Then we want to look at the conclusion. So in conclusion, the theory of production explains how firms combine resources efficiently to maximize output. Understanding production concepts, therefore, helps mass communication students to analyze media production, broadcasting operations, digital content creation, and business decision-making in communication industries. So those are the idea of what we would just say we have learned. I'm going to allow us to ask 1 or 2 questions as the case may be. Let me admit the person who is waiting. All right, as the case may be. So I want to say that the calculation aspect is not taken care of because we will need some physical contact to deal with them. So I didn't want to compound your dilemma by giving you any calculation. So I've just taken the theory part of the topic on theory of production. All right. Can we unmute ourselves if we have any question? Any question? I have Ade Adeniyi, Akanbi Fetia, Favor Lawrence, Joy Oyindamola, Kelechi Nwakwe, Macaulay Oluwapelumi, Rasheedat Omolabake, Odabi Samuel, Ogbonna Kelvin. These are people that I have for now. I can't see your governor, Anu Rachel. Anyhow, it's okay by me. So you have the floor. If you have any question, clarification, observation, any question you have, so that we can end the class. It's supposed to be from 8 to 9, but we have spilled over to 9:12. Yes. Question.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Okay, after the ladies.
Hello, sorry, please. There's a way I administer my online classes. Please, whenever you want to ask a question, signify with the raising of hands. Signify with the raising of hands. So let me stop sharing my slide. Signify. So, Ogbonna Kelvin, you are recognized. Kelvin, you have the floor.
All right, sir. Good evening, sir. So I want to ask, sir, what is the practical importance of MRTS in the production decisions, sir?
MRTS is referring to the marginal, I will take Rashidat afterwards, is referring to the marginal rate of technical substitution. The practical relevance of it is that it helps a producer to know which inputs is he going to invest more. Should that be on machine? Should he spend more money acquiring more machines, or should he spend more money acquiring more labor, depending on the nature of the product that will now make him to know what kind of production process he needs to embark upon. So it helps to identify the nature of production and the production process involved. All right, thank you. So
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Rashidat.
sir.
All right, Rashidat,
Okay, sir.
you have the floor.
Yeah. There's this particular aspect I didn't speak actually that time, so I don't want to distract you when you are on the class.
Okay.
The aspect of what's what point does marginal production start to decline, and what is the cause?
I like that question. Fantastic listening, despite all the distractions. Now, when you say at what point does diminishing returns set in? Now, it is noticed when you look at the table you are given and you have a total product at the peak. Once it gets to the peak, and you begin to see that as you are adding your Q, your output produced is increasing. Normally, your total product is increasing. Now, I wish I can draw the curve, but I will try and update that slide and send it to you. So the total product will be rising. When it gets to the peak, there is a peak. Once it begins to fall, that is diminishing returns. So that's the point at which diminishing return are setting. It's just like when you begin to say, okay, you are using a plot of land, oh, it's giving you more yield, you are doing more harvest. Suddenly, you just discover that the harvest you are getting from the plot of land is no more like before. That's diminishing returns. Do you understand? You are using a machine now,
Yes, sir.
a solar driven, okay, let's even say electric bulb. Like now, I put on a rechargeable lamp now. After some time, the rechargeable lamp will be very bright. After some time, it starts
And later
dimming
on, it will low.
gradually.
Yes.
That moment it starts dimming gradually, diminishing returns are setting. So,
Okay.
Rashida,
So
have you
the second
gotten that?
question, sorry, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. You are free.
Yes, I picked that. So the second question, sir. You talk about MRCS, like marginal return. So,
MR,
the MRCS, yes, MRCS and MRCS in real life, like what does the decision making like into business world? Sorry.
okay. Now, when we talk about MRTS, that is the one we did in production. That is marginal rate of technical substitution. The other one, MRCS, that means marginal rate of commodity substitution. The two of them in real life relevance is telling you that at what point in time do you decide options that you have? Which option do you use at what point in time? For instance, you are producing, you have the option of machines doing the work of human being, and you have the options of human being doing the work of human being. So if you now decide to say, okay, I've looked at the marginal rate of substitution, I can substitute. Look at the world of AI now. The world of AI has come to tell us that there is a higher level of marginal rate of substitution of labor for capital. So MRTS labor for capital means that you are substituting labor for capital. You are now doing more of capital intensive production method. So the world of AI has allowed you to now begin to see robotics and robots doing the work that human beings should have done. So that's the practical
Yes, sir.
relevance. It makes you to make
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much, sir.
no problem. No problem. I thank the two of you for those comments and contribution. They are encouraging to me. And Rashidat, can I ask you why you've not bought your textbook? Ogbonna
I've been
Kelvin.
actually been offline lately, so I was just aware recently, sir.
Okay, so I would look forward to seeing any of you come to the office. Just give me a call on pick my telegram, my phone number on the Telegram. Then for those who are living around, you can pay to Rachel, and
Okay.
then you
Yes, sir.
your governor, so she will come and pick it, and that will help you to read along. So before my next class,
Thanks so much, sir.
I'm
So sorry, sir.
expecting, hold on. Before my next class, I'm expecting a substantial number of you, at least half of the class. Yeah, you're asking a question. Who is that? I can't see your hand, so I don't know who I'm recognizing.
Sorry, sir. I'm the one, sir. Sir, so I got my textbook online yesterday from the app yesterday, sir.
Okay.
So I already got mine yesterday
Oh,
or
okay.
today. I think it was in the midnight. I got
Okay.
it yesterday.
All
And
right.
secondly, sir, I want to ask, this.
Hold on. For those who have gotten their textbook online, um, I would oblige you to get the physical copy when you are available. But if you are not nearby, no problem. But if you are nearby, then you can pick up the physical copy once I confirm. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll
Yes, sir.
get your number from the Telegram, sir. So when I'm in school, I will just. And secondly, sir, please, sir, this topic I will I hope it will come out in our physical class. One, because of our mates that are not online, and two, for better understanding, sir, because of the calculation and every form.
Sorry to interfere with your conversation. I've screenshot some messages. You can just message me. I can send them to you.
Sorry, Rashida, what did you say now?
I said I screenshot some aspect, the aspect of sliding during the class. So I screenshot some of them. So to be
Yeah, I
useful
know, but
for
we
them.
still need physical. You understand? Because of the
That was the reason
formula.
why I said we should get the textbook. So we will be able to interact well with the class.
All right, I'll message you for the slide, the picture screenshots. Thank you. All right, thank you,
Um,
You're
sir.
welcome.
I will also make the slide available. So after this class, I'm going to send the recordings of the class. And that's why I told your governor, and I'm so disappointed with her because I scolded her yesterday, and today she's not even in the virtual class. I told her to get someone among your mates that can do the Zoom link and also do the recording. So until I had to hijack my son to sit down and do the Zoom link and the recording. So he's with me here. He's going to do the recording, and then you'll see both on your Telegram tonight. So for those who are not on now, that is the benefit of recording it. They can listen to it and then participate, number one. Number two, I'm going to also send you a little more detailed slide. If I can do it tonight before my battery runs out, I'll try and do it and send to you. Number three, you also need to complement your effort by getting the textbook. And like I said, I told her, I said, there is no class that I teach that my students will not buy my textbook.